Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about functional communication and social skills training. Today our presenters are Stephanie Clay, Angela Dupke, Megan Reed, Caitlin Benatter, and Kashana Wilson. So what is functional communication training? Research has shown that disruptive behaviors like fighting and tantruming can be related to a lack of adequate and appropriate communication skills. Individuals whose language skills are more developed have a lower incidence of disruptive behaviors. Functional communication training, or FCT, was developed to decrease disruptive behaviors by teaching effective communication skills to children with communication challenges. FCT starts with completing a functional behavior assessment, or FBA, to determine the function of each disruptive behavior. Functions can include accessing tangibles, gaining attention, accessing sensory stimuli, and to escape. Once the function is determined, the child will be matched to a communication mode based on their abilities and the resources that are available. The child will be taught to communicate in that mode. So how does FCT help with reducing problem behaviors? FCT is used to help children develop their manding skills. Manding simply means making a request for something. When a child engages in fighting over a toy or tantruming, they are trying to communicate that they want the toy. They engage in these disruptive behaviors because they're not able to mand appropriately. Once a child learns to appropriately communicate a mand for something, their disruptive behaviors should decrease significantly. So how is FCT implemented? After the FBA, or functional behavior assessment, as described earlier, is completed and the child is taught to communicate in their preferred mode, the next step is to provide the item that they want once they have appropriately communicated that they want it. The item must be delivered immediately upon the appropriate communication response to effectively teach the appropriate mand. Then the disruptive behavior is placed on extinction. This means that if the child engages in fighting or tantruming in an attempt to access the item, the disruptive behaviors will be ignored. If there is a concern that a child will harm another child, then adult intervention will be required to maintain safety.
Communication modes that can be used with FCT are verbal language, gestures, sign language, PECs, speech-generated devices, and mobile apps. Some manufacturers that make dedicated speech-generated devices are Dynavox, Prentke, Romich, which creates the accent-dedicated devices. Some of the common apps that are used are Proloquo To Go, TouchChat, and Sounding Board.
Focus is social skills. What are social skills? A skill that may be used to interact with another individual and can include things like using eye contact, facing the person you want to talk to, asking to use items, sharing resources, and appropriately responding to questions, as well as many others. An important tool to use to help children to learn how to interact with their peers, as well as teaching staff, and can help to create meaningful and lasting relationships.
Why use social skills training? To develop social relationships and friendships and social and cognitive development. To develop more advanced social skills with age and increased desire to interact with other children due to reinforcement of peer interactions. It prepares children for recognizing social clues and appropriately expressing needs to others. Methods to teach social skills training. Small group games with peers, limited materials so they can be requested, and integrated playgroups. It is also important to include parents in the implementation program to maintain the child's success.
Using functional communication to teach social skills is important because you can mand for toys and other materials, ask to take turns and share, ask to join in on games, and create teaching environments within the community.
What materials are needed to teach functional communication training and social skills? Materials for FCT training could include picture exchange systems, devices, and various apps available on mobile devices. Reinforcers for appropriate communication and social skills responses should also be available for all training sessions. be one preferred by the child being trained.
School-wide implementation. Allison's preschool FCT and social skills training to address aggressive and disruptive behavior. In order to address these issues, school staff will be trained in both FCT and social skills. Staff will then implement the skills to the students. Students will engage in structured and in unstructured play, where they will be taught how to use iPads and PECs to communicate with each other and with staff. They will learn how to man for toys, work cooperatively, and share. This will decrease the aggression and ultimately create an effective communication system for students. Final tips. Proper communication system needs to be used for each person. It needs to be individualized and available for each person. Well-trained staff. So staff needs to be well-trained in both FCT and social skills in order to use it. Determine the function of the behavior for each individual. Use preference assessments for reinforcers. Thank you for listening to our presentation on functional communication training and social skills training. Next slides are the resources available. Thank you.